in whatever field you are, you might be looking up to the best of the best and thinking, oh, what are they doing? Maybe I should just try to imitate them, just do what they are doing, and maybe I will get the same success as they do. But I'm going to explain in this video exactly why that's the worst possible idea that you have, because of very simple fundamentals, and what you should do instead to get there. Because the key difference is there is vastly different things that you need to do when you're beginner, intermediate, or a master. The way to get to a master is not to do what the master does. It's doing what he did to actually get there. And so that's a completely different thing. And that's something also that is very difficult to know, because generally speaking, we only see the best at the level they are at the moment, but we don't really know the journey they went through in order to get there. So that's very difficult to know. So let me explain, because I'm an entrepreneur, but also a professional athlete. And so I have studied high performance for a very long time to understand how to get it done, how to get to the best level myself, and so on. And so I realized that there is a lot of different things that come into it in order to get there. And that's what I want to share with you today with this very simple chart. See, on the top left corner, we have performance level. And then here we have kind of, let's say, the parameters that allow that performance. You will understand what I mean by that. So the way it works is you have a very specific set of variables that come together in order for you to be just the best you can be. And that's also something that people tend to forget, is they think that you can only you can indefinitely get better. Where if you look at it like this, you will understand what actual peak performance is and why it's called peak performance. So the way it works, it's like this. Anyway, let's put it in blue actually. That's what is called peak performance. And the reason being is you have this, which is kind of called the zone, which is where all the variables that you have are set in the most optimal condition for you to perform at your best level. The difference between a beginner and a professional and a master is that as a beginner, you will start anywhere on that chart. Maybe here, or even maybe here. That is someone, when he gets it started, that if it starts here, is called talented. But just honestly, that's just random. It's just like a game where you spawn anywhere on the map, anywhere on the chart, and if you spawn there, this is your best level. But for them, this is going to be very difficult. For you here, but generally that's very rare, since because here you can see that it's almost like it's very large and so on, but in reality this part is very narrow, and then you have million parameters either side that you can land on, and so this is extremely rare to spawn on the first on peak performance. And so what generally you do when you're getting started is you're going to change, to just adjust variable as you go. And so you're going to get there, then you're going to make a lot of change, because if you do not make a little change here, that might not help you move forward a lot. So you make a big change that give you allow you to get there. Then you make another big change that allow you to get there. But because you don't know actually that this is one of your best performance, you make another big change and suddenly, you start performing worse. And so you do this back and forth since you don't exactly know what works best for you, this is a journey of discovery. And so as a beginner or even intermediate, what you do is actually you switch back and forth until you know your variable and you know what's worked for you. The main difference with a professional is they know this. They know exactly for them, and that's the very big, most important thing that you need to take from that. They know what is for them the optimal set of variables that will lead to highest performance. And so the journey to get a master, to become a master, is to figure out those variables, master them, and then once you know them, the only job a master have at that point is just to keep doing the same thing over and over. Period. And refining the sensation, refining the variable, so the width become less like that, so you don't have big good day and big and somewhat less good days. You want to narrow that as much as possible, and you're only able to do that by actually doing the same thing over and over and over and over, tweaking the smallest possible detail every single time. Because here, as a beginner, you can make big swing in terms of change, big changes, because you might be somewhere there. And so, in order for you to get there, if you just make small little improvement, you may never reach that point. So you need to make big swifts to kind of get to one point and another. But what you will do is, first you will do that, then that, then that, then that, then that, then that, then that. And so progressively, you will get narrower and narrower, and you will understand, okay, this is how it was, this is how I work. Because this is also that, this is very important, is when it comes to absolute peak performance, this is about you making it work for you. Because if you try to do it the same as someone else that is at peak performance, you're basically you're trying to optimize for someone else optimal optimization. So this maximal optimization for that person might not be the maximal optimization for you. And so you can do exactly, hear me out, exactly the same thing as a person, yet have vastly different results. Because this is not you. And so looking at the best of the best and thinking I'm going to do exactly like them, this is first understanding that you are not there yet, and also understanding that they are not you. They are not you, and so if you try to do exactly like them, you will not get the same result. Period. So yeah, that's kind of where I want to go. So the role of a master once you reach peak performance is to stay at peak performance. I want you to remove this idea that there is unlimited way to get better. Because if you think you are lacking something, this is to improve better. This is a sure way to never actually get better. What you need to understand is to get better, to get maybe infinitely better. This is about keep doing the same thing over and over, refining ever so slightly the detail. Like, for instance, at the beginning, I'm just quantifying just to give you an idea, but you make changing that go from 100 to 200. So that's big change. Then, as you get more comfortable, you know what you're doing, you make 10 to 20, or 20 to, and then 1 to 2. And then you have the master, 0.1 to 0.2. And so that's how they are doing it. That's why the better you are, the more careful you need to be about actually changing what is working. It's better to stick to what you are doing even though it's maybe suboptimal, but becoming the best you can be at that. Because sometimes you see those charts, this is a simplification of the reality, because what happened is the optimization chart look a little bit more like that, and so you may be there, you may have this range here, but you see that, oh, maybe yes, but I could be there. But what you don't understand is, for you to make this change, you need to get out of a state where you are making 0.1, 0.2 adjustment to a state where you are making first 10 or 100 change, in order to first center around this, and then you need to figure out how to refine it to actually reach the new peak performance. That's why you understand that sometimes that peak performance is way more than enough to win everything. That's something that I try to keep reminding myself. Where this improvement here will not make you that much better in terms of wins, but the struggle you need to go through to get there, that's a completely different story. So sometimes that's kind of what Alex or Mozi talking, the woman in the red dress. Sometimes better to stick with that, do it better than everyone else, rather than try to get to look for the shiny object on the other side. Anyway, so that's kind of the idea of peak performance compared to a beginner. Beginner or intermediate, your goal is to understand the set of values that work for you, so you can narrow down, trying to find where your own peak performance is, and find, okay, when I switch that way, I'm getting worse. When I switch that way, I'm getting worse. So the peak performance is somewhere in the middle. And so you refine to the point where you get narrower and narrower. So your average performance is getting better and better over time. That's kind of what I wanted to share today. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.